Happy New Year, and welcome to the very first episode of Season Sunflower Hour in 2022. I am so excited that we get to kick the new year off with all of you and with our amazing guests that are to come very, very shortly. But before we get to these powerhouse of women, well, happy 2022, and we are starting this year off with a bang, with a very, very special announcement. You guys have heard us talk about this on the show before. We had a beautiful matching campaign going on where an anonymous donor, an individual battling ALS, stepped up to create a matching campaign up to $50,000. So that meant every dollar donated was being matched by this anonymous donor, this individual living with ALS. And I am so excited to be able to announce that not only did we meet that $50,000, we blew that out of the water, exceeded it, and because of all of your amazing love, support, and generous donations, we raised $85,622.05. I'd love to know who donated that extra 5 cents, but we raised all of that. And thanks to this individual living with ALS, this anonymous donor, that $85,000 turned into $135,622.05. How crazy amazing is that? So this campaign started on Giving Tuesday of all days. It wrapped up on the very end of 2021. So we started January 1st off with this beautiful news and celebration. So a huge thank you to our anonymous donor who is not only battling ALS with strength and courage, but also stepped up to the plate to spread awareness and to really help individuals. And thank you to every single person that donated, because all of that money is going towards amazing services, equipment, support groups, all of the incredible things to help get us closer to finding a cure, to increasing research, and providing the best quality of life possible for those individuals living with ALS. And all of it is free of charge. So thank you guys. Thank you to the donor. We raised $135,622.05. Thank you guys so much. And let's keep the year going with all of this love and generosity. I want to introduce you to someone very, very, very special. I couldn't even think of a better way to kick off the new year than with this first guest. She is the epitome of class, heart, kindness, all of the good things. I have looked up to her from the moment that I met her 13 years ago, and my admiration for her just continues to grow stronger and stronger every single day. She has turned the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter into a nationally recognized and praised organization. There is nothing this woman wouldn't do for someone. She would literally give the shirt off her back to a stranger without even being asked. She has the heart of absolute gold. I am in awe of her, not only her incredible heart, but of her business and her leadership savvy. It's been an honor to know her and an honor to watch how she has taken the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter to the next level year after year. Please welcome our extraordinary and fearless leader, the president and CEO of the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter, Julie Sharpe. Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I miss your beautiful smile so much when I don't get to see you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Likewise. That was quite an introduction. And I just have to say it is maybe with my leadership, but I have an incredible team of individuals that I get the privilege to work along with every single day in the fight against ALS and support of the ALS community. And it truly has taken a team to get us to where we are today with many different talents and many different skills. And it's just a privilege and an honor to be leading them and working alongside of them. So thank you. It takes a lot of folks to make what we do possible. And that includes the community that we love dearly and that are really a part of us and all that we do in support of those living with ALS and their families. It's been amazing. It's looking forward to this year. And the news that you shared with everyone, it's just such a blessing to have so many supporters out there that have really continued to stand by us and stand with us and to help support the work that we do, which is so important in the lives of those living with ALS. You know.
It's true. And it's so beautiful to see too, because times have been hard. Things have been really tough. And to see everybody still come together the way they have, and not only just come together, but exceed all expectations, that number is insane. I mean, there's so much love and there was so much giving happening. It's so beautiful to witness.
And what was really encouraging about this campaign that we just ended was that it was really geared towards individuals who were new donors. And so when you think about that in combination with the success that we had, there's so many individuals out there that support those that are living with ALS and support our mission that really stepped up and came forth to help us help others.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. That just makes my heart swell up because I love people.
Well, and I have to say, the campaign ended, on January 1st, if you will. And, at 11:55 a.m. we were getting, or p.m., we were getting, donations. And I'm like, who's on New Year's Eve out there? This is what they're doing, how they're choosing to celebrate and ring in the new year. And it gives me chills to think just how committed I know we are as a team and those who work on their behalf every day, but our supporters. I mean, it was insane. I was like, well, I can't email them right now and say thank you. But, this is exciting. We're all over here going, yeah. So.
That's huge. You know what? Now that you say that, I don't know why I didn't think of. I can't actually think of a better way to spend the New Year's than giving that kind of gift. That's going to change somebody's life the way that this is. This is huge. And especially when it's being matched, that turns that $20 donation to $40. You're just giving an even bigger gift to somebody. That is so huge.
And again, it's about giving us the resources to ensure that we're able to provide the education, the equipment, the resources that the families that are living with ALS so desperately need. So thank you.
I love that you said that. And actually, can you pinpoint that for people that are watching that maybe think, where does this money go to? What is it? You donate to a charity, and what does it actually get you? Tell people what this money is actually doing.
Sure. Well, our mission is to care for individuals living with ALS. And what does care mean? It really means, provide care, to advocate, to invest in research, and to provide education. And along with the care piece, we have many clinics that work alongside of us. We have 2 certified treatment centers of excellence at the University of Chicago and the University of Illinois. We have our North Shore Clinic, our Rush Clinic. We have partners down in Central Illinois with INI, Hines VA. And these are, our multidisciplinary clinics where individuals who are living with ALS can go and really have holistic treatment. And we financially support them, as well as we have members of our care service team who are integrated into those clinics. Each individual living with ALS has a care service coordinator who in turn helps them create care plans, visits with the individuals, however that may be at this time, whether it's a home visit or virtual visits. We have an equipment program where we provide equipment to individuals living with ALS. We're very fortunate to have 2 speech language pathologists on our team who help with augmentative speech needs. We have support groups that are hosted throughout the month from different areas, as well as for different populations. Now we have a caregivers group, we have a bereavement group, we have a familial group, and all these resources that our families need so much are provided to them at no charge. We advocate. Many years that I have actually physically been to the Hill, as well as now virtually been to the Hill, alongside of individuals living with ALS, caregivers, family members, and we have had tremendous success. One of our most recent was the Act for ALS, which we just celebrated at the close of December. And then we invest in research because we know that there's a therapy, there's cures, there's ways that we can help individuals living with ALS have a higher quality of life. And we focus on living with ALS. And so all that we do in our mighty little team are out there in the trenches fighting on your behalf and their behalf every day.
Absolutely. And like you said, the strides you guys are making are so huge. And unless you're part of the team hearing this and keeping up with this, it's hard to see all the progress because you guys are. You're just blowing it out of the water with all the amazing things you're accomplishing and all the people you're helping. And as you mentioned, all of that is free of charge to people. So the only way you can keep doing this work, keep making these strides, getting closer to a cure, and providing those living with ALS the best life possible is through these donations, through these matching campaigns. So that money is huge, and it is doing so much for other people. So I just love that people jumped on board with this.
Absolutely. And, and from an educational standpoint, we host symposiums. We were able to bring on board the teleseries because we really believe in all different aspects coming together to help educate, inform, and provide, hands-on care or resources. Yeah. And, Susan, you haven't asked me yet, but we had an earlier conversation. I just celebrated my 16th year with the chapter on December the 18th. And it has been such an incredible opportunity for me professionally as well as personally to walk alongside the ALS community and the individuals that I've had the privilege of meeting. And, there's so many faces that are popping into my mind right now, and their smiles, and they know who they are. And even if they don't, I've missed having the opportunity to actually be present with some of them, during some of the events like the walks and the symposium, but I'm here for them every day. And so many of them have become mentors to me over the years. There's such an incredible group of individuals who step forth and have been really instrumental in my professional growth as well as in my personal life. And I am forever thankful.
That. I was going to ask you. You jumped ahead of me. I was going to get to that. Yeah, 16 years. So you kind of touched. It's been amazing. But how has it changed your life? What has it meant to you?
Oh, I can't even begin to articulate just what a tremendous positive impact individuals have made in my life in so many ways, from the courage, from the faith, the sheer joy, the laughter. I've had so many opportunities to be with different caregivers at different times and individuals living with ALS. I had one in particular I was able to go to a concert with, and we had such a fantastic time. There's just so many different points in my life, and I wish I could be integrated into everyone's life that's living with ALS that we serve, but I can't be. And my care services team, or our care services team, have many more opportunities than I do. But just the glimpse of those that I do get to become friends with, and I call them my friends, and they're my mentors, and I text back and forth, and we have conversations. And, I know I can't do, I'm here. Y'all know how to find me. Come after me. The more the merrier has always been my motto. It's really hard. I have so many stories and anecdotes that I think about that have allowed me to grow professionally. I think about one gentleman, there's a company that was a Chicago-based company, and Home Run Inn Pizza. I was in the infancy of my position and role and trying to find some corporate sponsors. And I'm like, okay, think about it, Julie, think about it. Who we got here, right? This is Lou Gehrig's disease, or at the time, that's one of the, that's kind of how it was known early on. I'm like, Home Run Inn Pizza. They have to be aligned with us. And, and I called Home Run Inn Pizza because they're a Woodridge-based company, not expecting to get Joe, the CEO, on the phone. And Joe picks up the phone, and I'm like, well, can I come talk to you? This is me, and this is what I'm doing. And sure enough, they became huge sponsors and partners in the fight against ALS. But also Joe stepped up, and he really became a mentor. We would meet several times during the year, and he would provide advice and guidance. And I've had so many others. And Joe, unfortunately passed away unexpectedly. And it's always been a loss for me. But boy, guys, he stepped up. Home Run Inn Pizza stepped up. And that's just one little story of all the ones who have stepped forth because I asked, because of whatever situation we were in. And no one has said no. They'll probably say to their chagrin, because once I get a hold, I never turn back or turn loose. But
it's so true.
Their lives are enriched in so many ways. And I have to think back, Susan, to when we first met. I think you said it was 13 years ago. We were really in our infancy at that point, and you had an idea to host a fundraiser. And it was in honor of your friend, Frank. And I'm not sure if you've ever told your story of your buddy, Frank, but I still have the rock.
No.
That love that you gave me.
Oh my gosh.
and from that time in our life. So it's been a huge supporter and generating awareness and love and light and joy everywhere you go on behalf of the community. So, yeah. Isn't that amazing?
It just gives me all kinds of chills. Oh, I can't believe that paint pen on that rock lasted all these years, by the way.
I can't believe it has lasted everywhere it has gone. So, yeah. And I have many trinkets like that. I have an angel that, one of the individuals that went to DC gave me that's holding sunflowers. And I think of Barb all the time. And, there was one group that we took to Washington, DC, and they were known as the Magnificent Seven. And every time I hear the song from that, I think of Frank and Justin and Chris and so many of the individuals that travel with us. And, I've got JR and Steve and Michael and Bruce and all these, and many females as well, that have really made a huge impact in the fight against ALS, supported their community while they were living their battle, but also with me, our skill set and pushing us forward to get us to where we are today to be able to help support the ALS community. So,
and it has grown so much. I mean, from the moment that we did meet all those years ago, it was you and two other people. It was a mighty team of three in that office. And now Absolutely. It has just grown and expanded into something I couldn't have even imagined. I am so happy. And I think that is a huge testament to you, Julie, because you're right. You have this amazing team behind you, but you are leading the charge. And I mean, from the moment I met you, it's like, this girl, you're stuck with me, whether you want to be or not. You have this beautiful way of just bringing people in. They join this family, and we are a family, and they don't want to leave. And it's just expanded over the years. It's so beautiful to watch.
Absolutely. And I was watching, one of the comments that came through. Hey, Ms. Ricky. Hey, Donna. I know these folks. Once you get a hold, you just don't ever let go. Yeah.
It's so true. I know I wasn't responding to the comments because we were in such a great discussion, but yeah, guys, we have been.
I'd be remiss in acknowledging them. So,
exactly.
And I think about the ALS Classic, which is the golf outing that the Rickies were able to attend, and so many others, and just how committed those corporate partners have become, and Mike and Dan and Chris and Bob and all these guys and females that are out there. I use the term guys, kind of in slang, but that, they really stepped forth and believed in us and believed in the community and wanting to be there and the walk. And I mean, we just have so many awesome things that we do. First Look for Charity, that's coming up. I know you're going to talk with others about that. Those partners believing in us and our mission of serving the ALS community. So anyway, was there other questions you had for me?
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of questions, but we just chat like we do. But I do want to know, and I want people watching this to know that maybe don't know your story. First of all, why ALS? How did you even come to this all those years ago in the first place?
Well, it's really interesting. I was asked to help volunteer when the chapter was first being formed and they were hosting their first walk to defeat ALS. And so as a volunteer, I said, sure, I'll help. The day that I said that, I was living in a building in downtown Chicago, and we had a little store in the main level of our building. And one of the women who normally, you get to become elevator buddies because you're coming from work at the same time or leaving for work at the same time, and you ride the elevator. And her name was Carla. And Carla worked for the Ralph Lauren store on Michigan Avenue. Beautiful woman, older. And at the time, I had two young daughters, very young. We were checking out at the store at the same time. And she turned to me, and this was the same day I had been asked to volunteer. And I had no idea at that point. I never knew what ALS was, what Lou Gehrig's disease was. Carla said in a very garbled voice, I want you to know that I have Lou Gehrig's disease, and I haven't been drinking. And I was like, I get it. I'll be helping in any way, shape, or form that I can. And for me to hear of a disease that I had never heard of within one day from two, significant individuals in Carla, because sometimes there's a misperception when they're garbled, when their voices are challenged, that they have been drinking. And she wanted to ensure that I knew, especially with my children around, that she hadn't been drinking. That's how I got involved, was I was asked to volunteer. And then Carla confirmed, was there and present that day. And then I had mentioned to one of my friends from back home what I was going to be doing. And she said, well, my grandmother died from ALS. And I'm like, no, I had no idea. And then when I talked to my parents about it, they said, well, your friend Ashley that you grew up with, her Mimi, had ALS, and that's what she died from. And I said, no, I had no idea. And so all these things happened within about 7 days. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm on the right path. And here we go. And then I had an opportunity a couple of years later when they were hiring their first full-time executive director to say yes.
I had no idea. I didn't even know this story.
Yep.
I can't believe how sort of serendipitous that whole experience was that led you here. And here you are 16 years later.
Yep. Yeah, I used in my former life, I was a banker, and then I was a stay-at-home mother. And now I have the ability to use all my skills for this very important work that we do. That's how I'm here.
And I
never looked back.
I love it. And like I said, watching what you have grown this into something just unbelievable. So you have applied all of your talents. You're in the exact right place you're supposed to be in this world, because what you've done with this chapter is just incredible. It's so amazing to witness.
But again, it has taken the work of a lot of individuals to get us to where we are today. By no way, shape, or form is this anything that I have done on my own. And we have been very blessed over the years with incredible team members that have brought us to where we are today. Very grateful.
So true. Well, what are some of your, is there one memory that maybe sticks out? You gave us a few really great ones, but is there any something that surprised you over your time with the chapter, or just something, the first thing that pops into your head of a memory of the last 16 years?
Gosh, I don't know. There's been so many times. I guess season, that's just impossible to say. Because there's been so many people that have touched my life in so many ways over the years. And the opportunities that I've had to step up and to help represent the ALS community and engage people in the fight. I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. The Ice Bucket Challenge, that definitely was something that was insane and incredible at the same time. That was such a fun, you literally took a towel and a change of clothes to work every day because you never know where you were going to end up and what was going to be asked of you. So many moments that I have stood before others speaking for those who could no longer speak, to engage others in their fight and to share their stories. I don't know any other way to say that. So many individuals.
I can only imagine. I've had a taste of it and it's unbelievable. So I can only imagine what you've been able to remember and collect over 16 years. And speaking of those 16 years, so you started back in about probably like 2005, 2006. So when you started as the volunteer with just 3 people in an office in Chicago, and you guys really hitting the pavement and growing this, knowing what you know now today after these 16 years, if you could give one piece of advice to that version of you back in 2006 when you took that first walk through the ALS Association doors, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell that 2006 version of Julie Sharpe? I like hitting you with the big stuff today.
I know. I was going to say, I think if you have a vision of what can be, you'll have the right folks come along to make that vision a reality. And dream big. Have the partners will come along. The corporate partners will come along. The individuals will step up to support the work that you do. I hate to say build it and they will come, but that's really what we did. So, gosh, that's a great question, Season, and it's one I've never reflected upon because I'm just always looking forward. We step back every year and we look at where we've been and where we're going strategically and align with our mission and our vision. And, the girls on the team will laugh because every time I say it's a visual representation of the work that we do, but putting forth the individuals Like, I have pictures around me all the time of those that we serve, because I do it for Susan and Jeff and Bruce. And there's just so many. I can't put names to all of them, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out. But,
I love it. No, that's perfect, though. Sometimes the simplest things, it's beautiful to get to just remember those things. And for anyone watching, that one sentence, it's true. You just follow your heart, you follow your dreams and dream big, and the universe will work with you. It will align one way or another when the timing is right. And you've proven that. You're a testament to that in itself. So that's beautiful. Speaking of aligning and visions and all of those things, because we are starting a brand new year. And so let's start strong with some, hopefully, New Year's resolutions that we stick to, some goals, some intentions. So with all of that in mind, sort of what are the goals and intentions for 2022 for the chapter? What are you guys looking ahead to?
So, we're going to continue to build upon the foundation that we have built. We're going to strengthen the programs that we already have in place. We assess the needs of the community and listen to what they want and help build programming around that. We're going to, we just kind of put our blinders on, get our work done, and go into the field and just move forward. We have proven ourselves to be steadfast, forward thinking, if you will, able to pivot, able to respond to any situation. And I think if the ALS community knows, if plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D don't work, well, then you pivot to plan E. I mean, every day you just figure it out and go forward. We're committed to, the three pillars: the care, the advocacy, and the research. And we're going to continue to invest in all three and build upon what we have in place.
Well, I am very excited for this upcoming year, for the chapter.
Have a great year.
This is going to be an absolutely incredible year. And I can't wait to have you back on maybe, mid-year, so we can just, because I know there's going to be it seems like every day, but every month there's going to be new, really exciting things happening with the chapter. So I can't wait to get to keep talking about that, sharing that, and bring you back for a little check-in to see if those goals and those intentions I know they're not only going to be met, they're going to be exceeded. I know it.
Well, thank you for having the confidence in us and the team. And we just have incredible people that are around us that support us, and that we'll achieve the goals that we set forth for ourselves and hopefully surpass them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any wishes for everybody watching for this new year?
Joy, gratitude.
Joy, light, and all things bright.
Yeah, joy, light, and all things bright.
I love it. Well, Julie, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. I love even learning more about you all these years, and I never knew that story. I love getting to learn about you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All
Have
right.
a wonderful night. Happy New Year. And we'll chat again soon.
Everybody. All righty. Thank you.
Bye, Julie. You guys, she has said it perfectly well. This is the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter is an amazing team of individuals led by an amazing individual. Julie is leading the charge, and she has found the most incredible and talented people in every field to come together and make this perfect team. And what they're accomplishing is so huge. So thank you guys for your support. Again, can I just say again, thank you so much to the anonymous donor who is battling ALS and still found the time to do a matching campaign and helped us raise over $135,000. This is so incredibly huge. So thank you to everyone that participated in that. And thank you to Julie for just being stinking awesome all the time. Oh, and speaking of super awesome things, Downright. That's another really awesome place. If you guys have never heard of them, don't you worry. I'm going to educate you on this super cool thing. So Downright is this amazing platform started by an incredible musician, Mark Rose, who had the brilliant idea and got all these crazy talented musicians, some of them platinum winning and Grammy nominated artists. So all these incredible artists from around the world to come together and truly just continue on sharing their talent with the world by writing commissioned songs just for you. Yeah, how cool is that? You could have a song written for you, for a loved one. You can give them the inspiration. You can work with the artist, and you get this beautiful one-of-a-kind song. Well, it gets even cooler. So Downright has partnered with the ALS Association, and they want to give you your special commissioned song and also help the chapter at the same time. This is so cool. So until the end of January, if you go to downrightcares.com, Sam will put the link up in the comment section, but it's downrightcares.com. That's DOWNWRITECARES.com. From now until the end of January, you can get a special written song just for you or for that loved one, and half of the proceeds are being donated to the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter to continue all those amazing services that Julie was telling us about. So this is huge, guys. Downright is donating 50%. And what's even cooler, because our chapter is based in Chicago, it's all Chicago-based artists that are taking part in this. So make sure you go to downrightcares.com. You can listen to the different artists that are participating. You can listen to their music. You can hear the writing techniques, and you can pick the one that fits what you're looking for best and have a custom song commissioned just for you, and half of the proceeds go to the chapter. So it's really cool. Make sure you check them out. The link is already up in the bio, and thank you so much, Downright, for your generosity and for taking music and really sharing your gifts, because music can change people's lives. So thank you for helping change lives in more than one way. Thank you guys so much. And as Julie mentioned, First Look for Charity is coming up, which is so exciting. If you have never been to it, you have to experience this at least once in your life. It's a beautiful black tie event at the one and only McCormick Place in Chicago. So the auto show happens every year. It's such a huge deal, but you can actually get in there and look at everything before anyone else. You can be one of the first people to see all of the cars and experience all of the exciting things that happen with the Chicago Auto Show. And the beauty of it is, because you were the first people in there, you get to do it without the huge, massive crowds of hundreds of thousands of people that come to see the auto show. So that means you get more time touching the cars, getting in them. There's less lines for all the amazing food, because some of the most incredible places, the most incredible eateries and restaurants from around Chicago participate. So you have free hors d'oeuvres, free food, there's top shelf drinks, there's all kinds of amazingness. You get to get dressed up, have a really fun night out. And again, it is so awesome because ALS Association is one of the charities. So by purchasing a ticket through, Sam will put that link up too. I'm sure she's awesome with this. I think she already did. Oh, it's already up there. If you purchase the tickets that way, then a portion of that also goes to the ALS Association. So make sure you check that out. That's on February 11th. So it is coming up. So make sure you get your tickets before they are all gone. Woo, that's a lot of really good things. There's so many good things to talk about tonight. I'm so happy. Our year is just starting off on the best note. It ended on the best note, starting on the best note. Ooh, and I do want to give a shout out. I saw you chime in, Carrie, Ricky, and it's so funny when Julie was talking about the amazing memories and moments and the people that really touched her life. One of the first things that came to my mind, especially with everything going on right now, is you and Mike. And as I was thinking about you, Carrie, you chimed in. So I love you. I'm sending you so many wishes, so many prayers, and so many hugs for everything. Thank you so much for being such a great supporter. And everyone watching, Donna, and I saw Kathy pop in there, my mom, my grandma. I love you guys so much. Kevin, thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't chimed in yet, make sure you leave a comment because we want to know who you are, where you are. And yep, love and hugs right back at you, Carrie. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you so much. And those 2 new baby kittens. I want some more pictures of that, by the way. Speaking of all things amazing and all things exciting, we're going to keep this going with even more amazingness and excitingness as the show goes on. So our next guest, get ready to be blown away, guys. Our next guest is an award-winning writer and editor. Her inspiring and impressive career spans newspapers, magazines, publishing, and public relations. When she found herself faced with her biggest challenge yet, she took to writing as a way to find healing. In 2012, Jan's father was diagnosed with ALS. He fought with courage and strength that inspired all those around him. He lost his battle with ALS in 2013, just about a year after diagnosis. Jan wrote Surrounded by Love, My Family's Journey Through ALS, in tribute to her father and to all those who helped her along the way. Here to share her journey, please welcome published author Jan Mathews.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Jim. Hi. Ooh, my pops, my dad is watching the show and he is so bad with technology. So the fact that he just commented is so exciting. So yay, Dad, you did it. You did it. And Jim, you know all about technical difficulties.
I do know about technical
So that was so
difficulties,
good.
and I admire those that just pop in there. So yay.
Yay, he did it. He did it and he commented. So way to go, Dad. Love you too. Love you, Mom. Love everyone for watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It's so fun to see. I love seeing all these messages flood in and just really encourage us. So speaking of dads, still, this is so ironic that it was my dad that chimed in on this. So we're going to talk about your dad, who battled ALS. Trooper, so strong. And he was not only amazing, but he was an incredibly impressive and accomplished man. I can't even believe all of these things. I don't want to get this wrong. So I'm going to read this part. So he was a chemical engineering professor at U of I. He was a chairman, a dean, and eventually the vice president of the College of Engineering at Notre Dame. Holy smokes. So he had this amazing academic career. Obviously, he's a brilliant man, super accomplished. But what was he like outside of all of that, outside of the classroom?
Yes, you're right. My dad was always my hero in many ways. And I think much of what he exhibited in the classroom is what we saw at home, my sisters and I. He was a very a logical person. He was very encouraging. He was very supportive. He was always very calm. Just the bedrock of our family. And he also had a very quirky and fun sense of humor. He was the person that no matter what you were doing, he made everything a little more fun. So he had that as well. And one thing I admired so many things about my dad, but one thing I try and emulate is no matter what he did, he would give himself 100% to that experience. It didn't matter if he was reading a book, if he was working on a puzzle, if he was teaching a class, doing a household project. He was 100% into that experience, into that moment, into that conversation, and got the most out of it. And I just think that's a lovely quality.
Mm-hmm. And it's one we should all sort of aspire to. That's been one of my goals, honestly, for 2022. It's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy I'm on my phone a lot, looking at social media. And so what you're saying, it sounds so simple, but it's so beautiful to be present and to just truly give your all to whatever you're doing at the moment. And I mean, he cracked the code, obviously.
Well, it was a very endearing quality because no matter what you were talking about, you felt like he was listening to every word, every syllable. And so often, personally, I'll be listening, but my mind might go somewhere else. And that was something that always stuck with me and that I admired and loved about him.
I love that. I love finding these beautiful qualities in these individuals we get to talk about, because then it becomes, I've said it before with other people, like, let's live a little bit more like Roger in those moments. Let's channel the best in these amazing individuals that have inspired us. And let's also, I want to challenge that to all the viewers, everyone that's watching. Let's live a little bit more like Roger in those moments and consciously take moments to step back and say, no, I want to be more present. Channel your inner Roger in those moments.
Well, and one thing too that I admired, like I say, so many things, but the same qualities that defined his life when he was in perfect health. And he was in perfect health 99% of his life. He was a runner. He was very athletic. So ALS was basically out of the clear blue, but every quality that he exhibited throughout those good years, those healthy years, defined him throughout his battle with ALS too. Just the positive nature, you name it. It was characteristic throughout his life. And it's easy to do when times are good, but to carry that through that battle, which as we all know is difficult, heartbreaking, it was pretty amazing to me and my sisters and to my mom to witness that.
What an amazing man. Seriously, I don't think you can even put words onto how amazing those qualities are, because when you're faced with something like that, I can't even imagine being able to have those qualities and continue to be strong, continue to be positive when you're battling something like this. So that's huge.
Puts it all in perspective.
Really, seriously, it really does. And crazy perspective. I mean, it's sort of like what Julie was saying. You maybe don't know anything about ALS, and then all of a sudden it's thrust into your life, and then you find this weird version of it sort of surrounding you, because your dad wasn't the only person that you knew that had ALS, right? We were talking, and I couldn't even believe this connection. So you had another connection with ALS as well.
Right, right. Whitney's mom, Paige Parkhill, who I believe has a close connection with your chapter. Paige and I were sorority sisters way back when at University of Illinois, and she was a senior in the house when I moved in as a sophomore, and she was president of the house that year, and just immediately someone that people gravitated to, a natural leader. And we kept in touch through the years, so I was aware of her battle with ALS, and same qualities that I saw in my dad in terms of selflessness and bravery, and immediately shifting her thinking from, okay, this is my situation, but how can I use it for the greater good? What can I do to help people? And so before my book was published, and shortly after Paige died, I did connect with Whitney, and it was a beautiful connection and very, very significant. She left quite a legacy.
And as did your dad. And so speaking of that, I mean, those two were battling this disease. They were going through all of this, but it does affect the families too. And this was also a journey that you went on. How has this changed your life? How has ALS changed your life?
It would be hard to describe how it hasn't changed my life. Just in every aspect, it's made me more empathetic, both for families going through ALS and just any family, any person facing that type of disease, journeying that way. It has really cemented my mission and my priority in terms of helping other families and focusing on that. It's made me even more resolved to be my father's daughter in terms of trying to emulate his example. One of his mantras throughout everything was cling to all that is good. In any situation, regardless of how difficult, how heartbreaking, you can find something good, or you can glean something good to do from that situation. So it's made me even more resolved to live that way. And, you know, we all have our days, but for the most part, that is what I aspire to.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So not only has, like you said, ALS, there's no way to describe how it hasn't impacted you. A step further, how has the ALS Association impacted your life?
I think personally, speaking personally, the people that I've met, and globally, of course, it's your mission. Everything that the chapter does aligns with what I want to do. Advocating, supporting, doing everything I can, building towards better treatments, better resources, ultimately a cure. It's opened doors for me. I know the value of connecting with people who speak the language, many of whom who have journeyed with this personally. I think for families that are just facing this out of the clear blue, just having a starting point, a resource that you can connect with, they in turn will help you connect with others. It's just been globally and personally such a connection and such a blessing. And for me, any proceeds that come my way from my book go directly to the regional office. That is a permanent commitment, an ongoing commitment. It just feels very authentic to me.
I want to touch on this because so you wrote this book. Let's get to this, because that is alone, what you just said is huge. You donate everything that this book makes to the ALS Association. That's how committed you are. That's how much this means to you. That is so beautiful. So let's talk about the book. So you're a writer, and through the years you seemed to find yourself writing about your dad, writing about these stories, about these memories that you remember from growing up. And when you and I talked, I love this, it stuck with me. You had said that when your dad passed away, writing was sort of your way to deal with it. It was your outlet to deal with the pain and the hurt and all of that. So how did all of that turn into Surrounded by Love?
It started basically, I never set out to write a book personally, but from the time my dad experienced symptoms throughout his diagnosis, throughout his battle, after every time I saw him or witnessed anything, visited, I would just automatically journal about it. It was my way of trying to wrap my mind around what was happening to him and to my family. It was kind of a very personal therapeutic type thing. And I'm a member of a couple of writing groups locally. And so I would workshop what I wrote, share my essays once in a while, get feedback from fellow writers that I really respected. Excuse me. And at some point, I got enough feedback from members who said, you've got a book here, maybe, and a manuscript. And so I started seeing it differently in terms of organizing what I wrote into chapters, into something very coherent. And it went from there. At first, it was just designed to maybe be self-published for my family, my nieces, my nephews, my children, grandchildren, a personal memoir. But then I saw something potentially bigger and something that could affect more people. So it really, I mean, you talked in your earlier conversation about serendipity, about the universe working with you, the right people coming into your life. And that's what happened with Surrounded by Love. It just continued to build. And I just feel, I don't know what my dad would think. He was a very, very humble person, but I like to think that he would smile on this and feel that we made the best of a heartbreaking situation. And my name is on the book cover as author. That's beautiful, but it's really my family story. My book includes the voices of my sisters, my mom, caregivers, my dad. There's a lot of my dad in this book. So it's a family journey.
I love this, and I cannot wait to read the book. Unfortunately I'm far away, so I wasn't able to get a copy before we did this show, but I can't wait to get one and to just like snuggle in my PJs and read this, because everything you have told me about this book, I get so excited, and I want you to tell everyone, because I even made notes on this. It was so beautiful why you described like why the book is so important to you. Share that if you remember with everyone, why this book is so important to you.
The excerpt from the book, would you like me to read that? Or
yes, let's do this. But yeah, it was from the book about just how you're talking about this life extraordinarily lived, and how it offers support and encouragement to others' families facing the same heartbreak. And what you're doing is raising so much awareness for ALS in our chapter. So beautiful.
Well, and I think it aligns again with my dad's philosophy of just clinging to everything that is good. And from the moment I started on this journey with my sisters, with my mom and my dad, I just kept thinking there's got to be something good that comes of this. A way of memorializing him, yes, but honoring his legacy and helping others. And that was just when the writing got hard, which it did. I mean, this was a labor of love that spanned basically 6 years. When it got hard, I just kept drawing back to that idea of keep going. There's going to be something good that comes of this. And he, the title, Surrounded by Love, that's exactly what my dad did throughout my life, surrounded us with love.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, give us a little sneak peek, give us a little taste of what we can find in Surrounded by Love.
Well, this is the cover. And it's a picture of my family. And basically just a brief excerpt from the prologue, talking about my dad. I felt his love in countless intangible ways all of my life. Dad was always my hero, not a superpower or saint, but better. He had a steadfast presence, a way of consistently living his everyday life that communicated love, selflessness, logic, honesty, and integrity. Many of the same qualities that characterized him professionally. Simply put, he took good care of me and filled my life with love and support.
Your hero.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
100% your hero. And I know for a fact he would be so proud of what you're doing. And you yourself and your father and your family have been a direct recipient of the love and support from the ALS Association, from the ALS community, from all of it. And now you in turn are giving that to so many other people. I think it's amazing.
Well, and I think personally, speaking for my family and what I saw my parents go through, if anyone knows, if you know of any family struggling with ALS, I mean, yes, there are beautiful resources like, the regional office and all of that. But on a personal level, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to say something, show up, whether it's a card, a meal, a phone call, an email, you name it, because this can be a very isolating and painful journey that many people don't understand. So any show of support, personally, I think is huge, speaking for what that meant to my parents.
What were some of those outreaches that you had that meant a lot to you guys?
I think just my sisters and I we didn't live in the same city as my parents. So simply knowing that friends would show up for them on a regular basis. I mean, we visited as often as we could for as long as we could, but we had our limits. And just knowing that they had a local community that would just show up for them was huge. So no small act is overlooked or underestimated.
I love that. And speaking of acts, what is something that, because you've continued to fight this disease, you're donating 100% of the profits from your book to the chapter, and you just said that that's an ongoing commitment that will never change. You are fighting this in your dad's honor and continuing to help others. What is something that our viewers can do to honor your father?
Honestly, contributions. I teamed up with 3 friends to form a walk team in September for the mini walks. So obviously financial, but also personally, just trying to understand and enlighten yourself about the disease. Reach out to people that you know. I found personally, the more you share, the more stories you hear, and there are more people affected by this than you realize. So it can be, financial, it can be personal, just anything helps.
I love it. Well, Jan, thank you so much. You guys, the link is up in the comment section to get Jan's book, Surrounded by Love. It is so beautiful. And we just got that one little taste, is just one of the nuggets of love and happiness that is in this book. The pages are filled with so many beautiful stories. So make sure you check that out. Jan, thank you for your commitment to not only our chapter, but to raising awareness, to raising funds, to continuing to share your dad's story. It is so beautiful. I'm so happy that you're in our ALS family.
I'm going to stay there. Thank you.
I love it. See, it's another one of those things. You come in and we just latch onto you. We never let you go. I love this.
Good. That's a good thing.
It's true. Anything you want to say to everybody to kick off the new year, 2022, before you go?
Simply to know that there's always hope. There's always something good that you can take from every situation, even when it seems otherwise. I think if you hang with it and if you just keep focusing on what is good, that's my mantra every day. Cling to all that is good. And that's what I will try and do through the year and beyond.
I love it. Jan, thank you so much for everything. I hope I see you again real soon, and I cannot wait to dive into that book.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye. You guys check out Jan's book. The link is again up in the comments. And as she said, let's just keep remembering the good stuff. Let's start this year off on the best and most beautiful note of spreading love, spreading kindness. And again, let's live like Roger. Let's live like Mike. Let's live like all of those strong individuals who have battled ALS with such strength and courage. And let's take a little piece of all of their goodness and shine that into the world and spread it to everybody else. So happy 2022. I will see you guys again for our next show on, I believe it's January 18th. My days are all running together. So I will see you guys soon. Beautiful. January 18th, we will be back here for another live show. And in the meantime, let's spread some love, let's spread some happiness, and shine that light. Be bright and shine your light, guys. I'll see you next time.